Well, hello. Today's movie is the Eddie Murphy Nick Nolte sequel, Another 48 Hours. Two bikers at a tavern in the desert kill two cops who intrude on their meeting. Meanwhile, Jack Cates is after a drug dealer known as the Iceman. He gets in a shootout with a man who was hired to kill Reggie Hammond. Cates goes to Reggie in prison and tries to get him to help. He threatens to withhold the money that he's saving for him. But Reggie isn't interested, and on the bus ride after his release, he is ambushed by two assassins. Jack Cates is also ambushed and almost killed. Then he has to join forces with Cates to clear Cates' name in the shooting, and also to get his money that Cates has. Along the way, they get into a bar fight while tracking the assassins. Reggie gets captured while fulfilling a promise to an inmate in prison to pay his daughter for protecting him. It all ends up at a confrontation at a local nightclub between Gantz and Cates and Reggie. It's revealed that the Iceman is a cop, and a big shootout ensues with all the bad guys basically getting killed. And at the end, wounded Reggie is going to the hospital, but is promised by Cates that he'll share the money that was recovered from the Iceman. So this was a 1990 sequel to the hit movie 48 Hours. And that's a movie that definitely launched Eddie Murphy's career. You know, he was originally paid only $200,000 for that movie, but for this movie, his paycheck was $12 million plus a receipt of the gross. And you know, it reunited Murphy with Nolte and the characters, and also the director Walter Hill. And it was a fairly successful movie, I suppose. It was a $50 million budget, but it made $153 million. Although the studio didn't really view it as a success because I guess it was a lot more expensive, and they were expecting a lot more. And there was also a little argument between Murphy and the studio and who didn't do what they should have to make this more success. And interesting, this was a movie that originally, was like well over 2 hours, like 145 minutes. But they decided that, at the last minute, they had to cut it down some because they thought maybe this was just a little too long and they were afraid they were going to lose money. So it got down to like just a little over 95 minutes. And, I know the actor Brian James, who was the Iceman, he was a bit upset about that because most of his stuff was stuff that got cut. He thought it reduced him from a major actor to just a very minor one. And I have to kind of agree with that, when the ending comes around and you find out, well, he's the Iceman. I go, oh, wow. I forgot he was even in this film because he's barely in it. But, it was a surprise. I wasn't expecting it. And, I think, personally, I'm a little leery of, would have been better with those extra minutes in it because, stuff over 2 hours tends to really lag. I mean, unless you're Quentin Tarantino, you probably should keep your movie at a minimum to 2 hours. And, I don't know if it would have made it any better. Personally, I like the movie. I mean, it has some, story and plot continuity issues, probably. I wasn't really paying attention to it. I know that there was never any mention of a deadline of 48 hours. You know, that's one of the things that got cut. There was apparently a deadline, so you know the title, Another 48 Hours, but that was just completely ignored. There, and you know, I guess yeah, but you know, it's a decent movie. I think you know for you know 90s 80s cop buddy action movie. I mean, that's kind of really all you want to do is just sit back and watch these two characters interact, and you know have some good shooting up, and you know that works for me. I mean, it worked for me then, and it still works for me now, and yeah, I don't really need much more from a movie like this, so I would like to thank you for sticking with me. If you did, you're a unique individual.